Welcome back to another episode of We Talk Fit
with Mish and Dean.
Oh shit. So,
Yep.
I thought, because I did another episode of that radio show last night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the next episode we're talking about, because it's obviously different subject topics. I thought I would ask you what one of the topics is about. So, very general, we can delve into a little bit if we want to. Where would you start for general population if they were going to try and come up with a workout plan for themselves? So obviously we know what we're saying, and obviously that's the advice we're going to give about we would do this as your coach, we would tell you to do this, etc. What do you reckon we could give as advice for someone trying to set up their own workout? So let's just say they've got access to a gym.
Yep.
What do you think we should...
Have they trained before? No.
Yeah, so this isn't to try and catch you out on making mistakes or anything.
No, well, that would give me more, like, depending on...
So let's say they haven't done a lot of training technical stuff, but they're capable. They've got no injuries, no pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
Should we, what? I guess they're panicking, sitting at home thinking, "Oh, I've got my gym membership, but I don't know what to do when I get there." And they've got time to train.
Yeah. 2
or 3 times a week, maybe for 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a few people out there not sure what to do, really.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've sort of spoken a little bit about it every now and then about people coming in and sort of wondering and going, "Oh, this is free, I'll do that. Oh, this is free, I'll do that." But I'd go, if it's 2 or 3 times a week, if they know how to do core lifts, I'd incorporate your core lifts if you can, like a deadlift on one day, squat on another, bench on another.
Yep.
If that's possible, and if they know how to do it. But that way you start with those as well, with those sessions, because you're using your bigger muscle groups first.
Yeah.
Before diving into your more sort of
targeted stuff.
Yeah. So you do all your core lifts first, you go your big muscle groups first, and then you work your way down through your session to your smaller muscle groups and things generally. Because I'll see people come in and they'll do like bicep first and then go and do back or something like that. Whereas I'd go more your bigger muscle groups as much as you can first, and then go into your more technical and targeted.
Provided I would, as a sort of, what would you call it, a proviso that they're warmed up properly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I guess that would be the other thing. So anybody that's seen me working with clients will know. I hate the word activation, but I do. If I'm going to deadlift, for instance, I need to know my lats and my back's going to work really well to hold that position while I'm lifting heavy weight.
Yeah, so you warm it up.
See you, bud.
See you guys.
See ya.
So like you'll often see me with a client do a few sets of dumbbell rows, or myself, even with my training.
So you can.
So there's a few of those things. It's not that you're trying to fatigue yourself.
You're not fatiguing. You're not working that muscle to failure for that particular exercise. You're engaging those muscles to warm up.
Yeah.
To activate and to prepare yourself for a heavy lift.
Yeah, and
you're preparing your body, like. Yeah.
And I've got dozens of clients that just with squats and deadlifts in particular, with that hinge part of it. If I didn't do any hip mobility or warm-ups prior, they would suffer and their back would suffer or something. So that's kind of that bit.
Yeah, that's going into your like technical and stuff too. So I've had to do that with knees and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good shout as well. Knees and ankle mobility.
So if I was to, even some body weight sometimes, squats, like my knees would ache. So I'd actually get into, and with some light weight, not heavy weight, you're not doing it to failure, but I'd get in the leg extension and just get a little bit of resistance and get my knees moving. Motion is lotion.
Yeah, absolutely is.
So it'd get those ligaments moving, it'd get the muscles working, and then I'd actually feel really good in my squat.
In the bigger movement.
Yeah. So like that's fine. Like, and doing that, but yeah, you sort of try and start with your really solid workout sets with your bigger targeted muscle groups if you can, and then you sort of work your way down.
And would you go So I have a couple of trails of thought on that. So if you were going 3 sessions a week, roughly focused around the compound moves, would you make like the deadlift? Let's call it a deadlift session, a squat session, a bench, a barbell bench press session. Would you then theme the rest of the workout around the same muscle groups, or would you?
Yeah, generally, I would. So I'd do like a, if you were doing a squat session, you go more your quads and glutes and hammies if you can. So you do a leg session.
Yep. So you're making the squat session actually as a lower body session. Yep.
And it depends on where you're at with your training and stuff too. But then your deadlift, even though you're doing you still got glutes and hammies and quads and stuff in that.
Absolutely.
But I'd make that into the back session. So you do like a bull session. And then chest would be, chest, shoulders, bit of arms, bit of core, and sort of go that way, basically.
I tend to, if I've only got those 3 workouts with someone, and I would do the same thing, by the way, with the compounds, I would tend to make the squat session a little more quad focused after the squats, because obviously a good squat's going to require everything. But then I would do more of the anterior of the legs.
Yeah.
So like leg extensions, lunges, set up to bias the front of the legs, those things. And then I would make the deadlift session that posterior
chain. Yeah, so it depends on clients and stuff too. So sometimes what I'll do is I'd actually have your 2 main sessions, and then your third is something more that you want to work on. So I'd do 1 session would be, say, your posterior chain. So you might do chest and quads on that session. And then the next, like the second session, you do back and glutes and hammies. And then your third session, say you want to work on your chest, you do some chest and arms and abs and stuff like that there.
Yeah, the
or
focus
if
areas.
You want to do, like if you've got something that you really want to target and grow, if it is your glutes, hammies, whatever, then you target that in that third session. So you're able to hit the muscle group sort of twice. That week. So depending on what goals are and stuff like that, then and how many sessions you have available, you might have people that can only do 2 and it's 3 if they're lucky. Then you're still able to get all your muscle groups in those 2 sessions and your bonus session.
And what comes into play as well, so like if we were saying, trying to give some advice to Gen Pop on where they could maybe start writing a session for themselves, it's like, with the greatest of respect, they're probably not going to be training at a really high intensity, especially if they're Gen Pop and they're new to being in a gym, who said they've got no injuries, but we didn't really go into their experience.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, quite often what I'll say to people, and I've had this conversation like so many times, is, right, you're going to come in, let's say 3 times over a 7-day period with at least a day in between each session, possibly 2 days between. So there's no reason you can't hit the same muscle groups again
in a row,
but you could target them slightly differently. So what I would say is, why not, if you've got 45 minutes, why not choose an exercise that you push weight away from you? So a horizontal press, choose an exercise where you pull weight back towards you, a horizontal pull. Then do vertical. So we'll go choose an exercise where you push weight overhead, choose an exercise where you pull weight down, and then we'll add in like a squat movement or a hinge movement. So is it a body weight squat? Is it a goblet squat? It might be stripped back to a leg press or something. But so you can sort of make a workout going, right, I've ticked that one off. I need to do something that goes that way. So I'm going to do the chest press machine today. And then let's say that's Monday and you come back in Wednesday or Thursday and you go, I need to do a horizontal press, but I did chest press machine. I might lie on my back and do a dumbbell press.
Dumbbell press, yeah.
So you can have a bit of fun with creating your workouts that way. The only downside of that is it's going to be quite varied.
Yeah.
So once you've built up competency, you then look at going, right, I'm going to do this day and this day, so that you can start tracking weights and
then getting the progressions and stuff that you want.
But I like to try and take the thought process out when people ask me, oh, what should I do when I come in? I'm like, well, the reason you're asking is because you don't want to or haven't got the capacity to think about it through other stressors. So don't think about it. Just go, I need to go that way, that way, that way, that way, and a hinge movement through the knees, ankles, and hips.
Yeah.
Tick all those boxes 2 or 3 times a week, coming back to see us in 2 months, and we'll get you on a proper program where we go, no, this is what we're going to use for this movement, and this is what we're going to use for this muscle group.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. If, like when you say hinge, some people don't know what that actually means, they just know the movement.
Correct.
So then a hinge movement, like your RDLs and stuff like that. So then you regress and sort of go things like that too.
The
So
RDL's such a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's
is.
one of the most valuable. Obviously, there's different types of RDL as well, but it's one of the most valuable exercises for anybody. But even very good, competent, like gym goers can be doing shitty versions. And it's hard work, and they are training hard, thinking they're doing it the right way, but they're really stressing their back, or so it feels like it's a lot of work, and they might have done it wrong for a long time, and they've progressed their weights doing it badly, and that's making it feel harder and harder and harder and harder. But they're actually not hitting the things they should be hitting, like the hamstrings or the glutes or a little bit of extension in the back or whatever. So it's a tricky one. Like, I don't think I've ever put an RDL in for someone that I haven't shown how to do it, if I've written a program anyway.
No, I don't think
unless I've seen them training and know that they're really smart with that stuff, you know?
Yeah. The one of the cues, if you will, that I use for people, because it's not really bad, but basically it's holding. It feels like you're holding in a fart.
Yeah.
So you're getting down into that position or whatever, because a lot of people don't know how to actually engage. They've used their upper body to pull the weight back up. They don't actually use their legs to pull the weight up.
Yeah.
And it's always something that most people will actually understand when you explain it that way, because most people have had to.
Yeah.
They've been in a public space and they don't want to fart in front of someone.
Yeah, okay.
So most people actually go, oh yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, cool. And they go through the motion. They're like, oh my God, I felt that.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt that in my glutes, or I felt that, like I didn't use my upper body to do that. Oh, that was so cool. Like, there you go, cool. Right. Then we go through that way. With those sorts of movements.
I try typically with an RDL, so we're trying to learn how to hinge properly here. I'll depending on what we're hitting.
Yeah.
I'll get them body weight, hands on thighs, standing up tall. I'll get them to pop their chest with a little bit of extension through the back, better posture. And then I'll say, right, we're just going to break at the knee or soften the knee slightly.
Yeah, soften, yeah.
And then I'll say, right, I want you to just gently push your hips behind you as far as you can. So I'll pick, like if I'm standing over there, I'll say, right, I want you to push your hips back towards the door or whatever direction. As you're doing that, your hands are going to slide down your thighs. And I'll try and get them really thinking about the hips coming back and then the hips going forward. Think about it as a horizontal movement rather than going up and down.
Yeah.
And because we're doing a body weight, especially with guys, I've noticed, I'll get them to the bottom and I'll say, right, just pause, really gently, just push your knees behind you a touch, and then the hamstrings will go, holy crap. And I'll go, right, that's the bottom of our range. Now we're going to go back up, we're going to get some weight, and I want you to go to that range with the weight.
Yeah.
It's you only need to ask any trainer, like it's the hardest thing to teach someone is how to hip hinge.
Yeah.
I
remember you would do kettlebells with people.
Yeah, well, I've done that with certain individuals because obviously every person learns differently, but I'll do like a kettlebell swing because it's just a sped up version of hips forward, hips back, hips forward, hips back. Again, unless you get a really, guy that's just trying to lift the kettlebell with the shoulders and the hips don't move at all and they wonder why their shoulder hurts. But a kettlebell swing is meant to be like a lower body exercise and the other things help, not an upper body exercise, and this helps. It should be hips popping forward, and that creates a pendulum action, and the kettlebell swings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's obviously different variations of that as well.
Yep.
But yeah, that's typically how I would keep a writing your own workout simple. Just try and move weight in each direction.
Yeah, exactly. I'd agree with that.
And then quite soon you'll be at the point where you either do some research on particular moves for particular muscle groups, or you speak to a trainer, hopefully, or a coach, and
get a bit of a program written.
And hopefully they know what they're talking about and give you some decent advice.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, actually. And then once you get that, if you speak to a trainer and get that program and stuff, you'll learn a lot more in regards to controlling the weight, your technique, your tempos, or your PE, or your reps in reserve, or how hard you're actually working, or
that's a really good point. Actually,
start getting into a few more nitty gritty stuff that you don't realize that can make a massive difference, or give you your results a little bit quicker than what you would just popping into the gym.
That's a really good point as well. So even if you are a beginner and you're still learning how to move, and like, so imagine you've built yourself a little workout and you're going to go that way, whatever. Yep. You're doing 3 or 4 sets of each exercise you've chosen, and let's just say it's 10 reps a time or 8 reps a time or whatever. The rep ranges don't matter as much as what we think.
Yes.
Within reason. But you do want those last couple of reps to be
hard,
technically difficult.
Yeah.
As in, if you kept going with reps, your technique would fall away shit.
Yeah.
At first.
Yeah.
If you could just keep going with whatever technique, then you're not going to get the results that you're after.
Yeah.